Hey, what's up? John here. This is a getting started to Adobe XD tutorial for absolute beginner. In this video, you and me will learn how to become a UI/UX designer using Adobe XD software. First, you will learn how to use the clean and intuitive XD interface, where to find the wide range of powerful tools to create out of these wild designs. Later, you will learn how to design a cool food delivery application. In the process of designing the app, you and me will learn how to use components, colors, and images to create a beautiful user interface, as well as how you can wire all this together to create a cool user experience. And so, if this is something that interests you, I'm inviting you to take this course for absolutely no fee. Welcome. Let's meet in class. Hey, what's up? I'm glad that you decided to take the course. Well, let's get started right away. When you open Adobe XD, you'll always be taken to the home screen. Right now, you're viewing the Adobe XD homepage. The homepage will be divided into 3 columns. The leftmost column will have some sort of a menu. The first will be home. This tells you that you are the home. Below that will be the your work option. The options that will appear below the your work option will depend on whether you are connected to the internet or not. It will also depend on whether you are signed in using your Adobe XD account or not. For my case, I'm not. And so the only option that I'll see is the your computer option. This is where I can be able to access my locally saved projects. At the center, I'm going to see the different screen sizes. So if I'm looking to create a mobile application, I can pick from these available screen sizes. And if I'm looking to create a website, then I can pick from the 3 different website sizes. And if I'm looking to create an Instagram story, Twitter post, Twitter head, Facebook post, Facebook cover, YouTube video, I can pick from these different options here. And if I just want to be creative, I can create a custom size from this option here. Below that will be the recently created projects that will be appearing here. Again, this will depend on whether you are connected to the internet. If you're not connected to the internet, you'll only see your locally saved projects. This again will depend on whether you are signed in using your Adobe account. On the rightmost side, you're going to see the last column here. So this way you're going to see some cool resources. For example, you can be able to jumpstart your designs with UI kits, or join the daily creative challenge. Well, the tour is over. Why don't we start our design? To start our design, we need to pick a certain screen size. In my case, I want to design a mobile application, and so I'm going to come and select a specific screen size here, and I'll be going with this option. Well, upon clicking that option, I'll be taken to yet another interface here with my screen size, and in this case we'll be calling it an artboard. The name of the artboard will be appearing on top here. Why don't we take another short tour around this interface so that we know our way around. So from on top here we have this hamburger. So upon clicking on this, you can be able to create a new project. You can be able to open one. You can be able to save it among other options. You can also be able to get back to home by clicking on this option. You'll be able to switch from the design, prototype, and share using these options on top here. Here you're going to see the name of your project, and you can click on this to name it and save it on your local machine. You can be able to have a mobile preview by clicking on this. If you're using an iPhone, you need to connect it with your USB cable. And if you're using an Android phone, you need to have your project saved on the cloud. You can also have a desktop preview, so we'll be clicking on this button here to preview our projects on the desktop. We can be able to zoom in and out, and we'll be having different zoom percentage. And if you love shortcuts, we have different zoom shortcuts that you can use here. On the leftmost pane here, we have the cool tools that we'll be using to design your project. The topmost is the select tool. So this is the tool that you'll be using to select any object that you have here, either to move it or edit it. You can also be able to draw rectangles, ellipses, triangles or polygons or lines, and you can also be able to use the pen tool to design any custom shape that you would like. To create text, you'll be using this text tool. You'll also be able to create different artboards here, and you'll be using this option here to create various artboards. To zoom in and out, you'll be using the zoom tool here. Below here we have the libraries. This will be storing the assets that we will be requiring in our project. So if you have those assets that you'll be reusing in your project, then you can have them saved in this area here. We'll be using these, we'll be finding this option useful when we start creating our projects. Then we have the layers, and if you're used to Adobe products, you'll notice that when you're creating any design, you'll have your work read out in layers, and Adobe XD is no exemption. So anything that you create here, be it a shape that you draw, be it some text, you're going to see the object added as a layer, and this will make your life very easy, as you'll be able to manage the different created objects. The last option that we have in this menu is the plugins. So the plugins will make your life very easy when you're creating your project. In my case, I'm not connected to the internet, so I'll not be able to see any plugins, but you can always click on the discover plugins, and you can be able to add those that you like. On the rightmost part of the interface is this fixed panel. This fixed panel will have different options. If you have nothing selected, the options in this panel will be inactive. But upon selecting on anything, let's say we select this artboard, we are going to see some active properties or options. For example, when I head on to transform, I can see that I can be able to change the width of this artboard, the height, and also I can be able to change the position on the X and the Y axis. I can also be able to change it from portrait to landscape, and I can also change its appearance from down here. I can come and give it a specific color. If I come and add a specific shape, say we come and add this rectangle, I'm also going to see more options. We'll be focusing on this later in the video. Now that we have taken a tour around the Adobe XD interface and we know our way around, it's time that we get our hands dirty by creating a cool food delivery application. This is an application that one can use to order food online, and then food is delivered at their doorstep. So the first thing that I will do is to select a screen size, and I'll be going with iPhone XR Max. Well, when you open applications, the first thing that you'll be presented with is information about that specific application. So some will have some splashy images, and others like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and Instagram will just have a simple logo. And that's what we are going to do with our application here. So I'm just going to have a simple logo here with the name of our application. So to do that, the first thing that I want to do is to give my artboard a specific color. So to do that, I'll just come and scroll down here, and I'll just come and click the fill color. and I just want to come and give it some grayish color, so maybe around there. Cool. And because I may be using this color later in this project, I want to just come and save that color. So just come and click on this and the color will be saved there. So the next thing that I want to do is to add our cool logo here. So I'll head on to the File Explorer, and I'll just come and grab my logo, and I'll just come and drag it on my artboard here. Maybe size it a bit here. Good. And that's quite big, maybe allow there. And I want to align it properly, allowed this artboard. So I'll head on top here, and I'll have it aligned middle vertically, as well as align center horizontally. Cool. Then this being an SVG, I can be able to change the color, and I want this application to look so good. So I want to have this with a certain attractive color, maybe orange will do. So having it selected, I'll go to the fill color here, and I want to give it an orange color. So that color there. And this being a color that I'll be reusing, I can save it by just clicking on this save color swatch. So the color will appear here, and I can be reusing it whenever I want. So like for example, I also want the borders to look the same, so I'll click on this, and upon clicking on this, I can have the borders having the same color. Cool. So now after that, I can now be able to have a certain name down here. You can just have it like this, or you may have some information below here. Like for my case, I'll just have a text here. So this text will be like the name of the application, and we're just going to have it more, yeah, like it more. So this is quite big, so I want to just come and resize it, and resizing text in Adobe XD is very easy and can't get easier than this. When you have the text selected, you're going to notice that you have a circle here. When you point at the circle, you notice that we have this resizing pointer. This is actually a pointer that can help you to resize the text of the size of the text, and you can also be able to rotate it using this rotation pointer. So I want to just come and make it a little bit smaller. So I'll just come and click on it, and then I move or I drag up like that, and I can just come and position it somewhere there. So I want to just come and change the text style. So select the text, and over here under text, I can just come and change the style to Roboto. So I can just come and change the style to Roboto, and I want to just have it being normal, or let me just come and have it bold, make it bold. And for the 8, I just want to come and make it heavy or black here, so it will be more bold than this. And for this one, I just want to come and change its color. So just come down here and change the color to maybe something like that. So let me see if we make this medium. Yeah, cool. So there you go. So this is the first thing that a person will see when they visit our application. So let me also align it properly. So let me just have it over there. So cool. So that's our home page. Now the next thing that we are going to have here is the login screen. So just thinking through, the second thing that you would want a person to do when they visit your application is to register or to log in. And that's what we are going to have here. So I'm going to create another artboard here that will contain the register and the login pages. So I'll just come and pick the artboard tool, and I'll just come and pick the size over here. So remember, we are using the iPhone XR Max. So just come and click on that and it will appear here. So I want to just come and rename this maybe to login stroke register page. So what I want to do here is I want to just come and draw a rectangle. So a rectangle is a shape that you're going to find yourself using more frequently in Adobe XD. And you may ask why I'm drawing the rectangle there. Just so that you can see what is happening here, I want to just come and give it a specific color. Good, so that's the rectangle that we have there. So the reason as to why I'm having this rectangle here is I want to have a full size image that will occupy the whole of our artboard here. So having it selected, I can head on to my file explorer and I can just come and pick an image. For example, we'll be using this image over here. So I can just come and grab it and drag it onto the shape, and when I have it on top of the shape, you're going to see the shape being highlighted. This means that when I release this image, it will be marked to this shape. So you just release it and then you're going to have the image being marked to the rectangle that we had there. Good. So the next thing that you may want to have here is some text, and you can just come and have some text there. Like you can just come and have it more, but you're going to find this text being invisible, like you can't clearly see it. And the last thing that you want to do is to apply a shadow to the text. So to be able to fix this, we can just come and draw again a rectangle. As I've said, a rectangle is a tool that you'll be using more frequently. So I can just draw a rectangle there and have it without a border. And when you look closely to this rectangle, you're going to notice that it has some specific handles. Of course, the ones that are on the outline will help you to resize the shape, while the ones that you have inside here will help you to make the corners rounded like this. Okay, you can also be able to make specific corners rounded by holding the Alt, and you can go on to specific corners and just make them rounded. In our case, we just want this one to be rounded. We can just have it like that, but that's not the end of it. We can still modify this shape so that our application is looking a bit more cool. So I can just double click on it, and double clicking on it will expose the paths. So that is the path of this specific shape. And I can also be able to add more points to this shape here. So in this case, I'll just come and add one here. So as you can see, it has been added there, and now I can be able to just come and modify it like this. And by default, we are going to have a very sharp corner there, and that is not what we want. We want it to be as smooth as you can see here. So to be able to do that, we just come and double click on it. So upon double clicking on it, now you can see we are going to have a cool curved corner there. So I'm just going to come and have this part up, raised up like that, and I can just come and modify this a little bit. Okay, so we can just come and make it a little bit short, a little bit, maybe around there. Alright, so the next thing that I want to do is to have the application description here. So I'm just thinking through here, like this could be the correct place to put the description that will tell the user more about this application. But the first thing that you may want to have there is the name of the application. And because you already have the name of the application here, you don't want to keep on retyping it again. So we can take advantage of what we call components in Adobe XD. So let me just do it practically so that you can be able to understand what I mean. So this being something that I want to reuse and that I might be reusing more often, I can just come and have it selected, and then I head on to libraries. Here I'm going to say different document assets. We have the colors, character style, and components. For this, I'll add it as a component and I'll have it added here. You'll notice that now the text have been surrounded by some green borders, and it has this diamond here. So this means that this is the master component. So anytime that I reuse these, for example, I just come and drag this one over here, you're going to see again it will have the same green borders, but the diamond will not have the fill green color like we had here. So this means that these are the same, but this is the master. And the advantage of this is that any time that you want to make a change, you can just make it on the master, and it will be applied to every instance where you have used that specific component. Say for example, I just come and have this selected and I change its style to, say, just want to come and change its style. I change its style to, say, Rockwell. So you're going to see that change being applied to even the other component here. So that's the advantage. So I'm just going to use that. So I'm going to have this on top here, and down here we are now going to have the app description. So I'm going to grab my text tool, and here I'm just going to have the text description like this. Good, and I want to change the style here, so I want to be consistent. I'm just using the Roboto, and it should be regular. Good, just have it somewhere there. You just have both of them aligned at the center. This one doesn't look so good, so I want to maybe make it medium. And also let me just have it centered like that, and I can also come and try to reduce the opacity of that color. Yeah, maybe something like that. Good. Now down here we can just assume that this is something that a person can be sliding through to also see some various options. So we can just have some maybe navigation indicators down here. So I'm just going to draw some eclipse here, not too big, like that, and I want to have it with this color and with no border. So I also want to just come and duplicate this, and instead of drawing it again, I can just come and use something that we call repeat grid in Adobe XD. So having it selected, I can just come and click on the repeat grid, and this will have these circles around my main circle. And if I want to have the circles moving downwards, I can just do like that. But in my case, I want them to be horizontal like that, and just 3 of them. Just like that. Then I can have them centered there, and because I want to edit individual circles, I can just come in and group them. Alright, so I want to come and select both of these ones, and I reduce the opacity a little bit. Maybe allowed. Let me just put it 50. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so that will be the description, and a person can be able to just move aloud to see also more information, maybe by just tapping on these navigation indicators here. Well, you see now we have the application title and the description, and some various cool navigation indicators at the bottom there. So now at the bottom here we want to be a bit more creative. So look at it like this. You have these users who have not yet registered to this application, and you want them to register. Or for anyone who is using the application, you want them to first of all sign in, so that maybe their details are secure. So you want to have a specific sign in button at the bottom here. But before we get to that, let me just come and select all of these and group all of them into one component. So I'll select all of them and I'll make them a component just like that. So now when I head on to my layers here, I'll be able to see them as a component. And let me just get a little bit neat here and give this a name. Let me just come and call it description. Just like that. So we come and click on this, we're going to see the various items in that group or in that component. Alright, so we are just left with this, and this is now what we want to work with. So I want to just duplicate this, and I have it somewhere at the bottom here. So I'm just going to come and open this, and I want to just come and duplicate it. So I right click on it, then I just come and say duplicate. So maybe we can just come and call it container. And here we can have container 2. Alright, so we have container 1 and we have container 2. So now what I want to do is this one that is on top, I want to give it a different color. So to do that, I can head on to my document assets, and we can grab this color. So we're going to have it like that. So this one should appear in front actually, so should appear on top of this, so we can have this one appearing on top here. Yeah, just like that. So we just have this container appearing below our description group. Right, so now when you have this like this, of course it is hiding all our description, so it will not be appearing there. So we're just going to come and drag it somewhere at the bottom here, and we're going to have something like that. What about that? Looks cool, isn't it? Let me know in the comments below if this looks good. Now here we can just come and have our sign in button. So maybe I can just come here and write sign in. Let me bring this up a little bit, maybe something like that, and I'm using Roboto as my text style. So Roboto, and let me just make this bold, just make it bold, and I usually don't like this dark color, so I usually want to reduce the opacity a little bit, maybe to something like that, and I can have it here. That looks quite big. Let me just resize it a bit, maybe something like that. And you know what, we can also drop this down a little bit, somewhere there. It's always good to preview your work to see how it will actually appear on an actual mobile phone. So you can just come and click the desktop preview here. So I'm going to have it like this, and I think it looks good. though this one still to me looks a bit big, so let me just for out there. Yeah, and we can have a preview again. Yeah, and that looks good now. So now this will be the default state. So when a person gets to this artboard or this page, this is what they are going to see. Of course, now we also want to have the sign-in form, and we still want to have it in this same artboard. So you can also have it in a different artboard here, but in this case we're just going to have it in this same artboard. So what I'm just going to do now, I'm just going to come and select these two, and first of all I'm going to have them on top here. So first I want to first of all create my sign-in form. So I'm going to have maybe this one on this side here, and this, because it will be the active and the default page, we can just come and draw a line below here just to show that it is active. And now if I want to come and increase the stroke width, I can just come down here and I can just come and select on this, and then I drag up. So this will help me to increase, and this moving down will help me to decrease the width. So I'll move it up to maybe somewhere there, and I want to have it with a fill color of pure white. So I'm going to have it with white, just like that. And I also want to come and change its y-axis position. So I'm just going to come and drop. You can see I'm just moving this up. The y position I'm dragging up, so maybe around there. And also I think we can have this maybe somewhere here, so that now on this other side and on the right side we have the sign up. So I can just come and change this to sign up, and I want to just come and change it from bold to medium, and the opacity is good, but I can reduce it further, maybe around 50. And now I can continue now to create the sign-in form here. So I'm just going to come and grab this rectangle. So I'll be using the rectangle more often here. So I'm just going to come and draw it here, and I also want it to be aligned at the center horizontally, so somewhere there. And I usually don't like it having the border, so I will remove the border there. And for the corners, I'll just make them a little rounded, not completely like that, but I would want it just to look maybe something like that. Now inside these, I also want to tell the user what I expect him to fill inside here. So I'm just going to come and pick the text tool, and maybe I'm just going to come and tell the user to enter username. So I can drop the size a little bit, and I also want to make this regular, and the opacity should be around, maybe let me make it 40. Yes, and I can have it somewhere here. Yeah, good. So that looks good. Let me just come and move it down a little bit. Yeah, somewhere there. So for this input field, I'll be using it more often. So I need to make it a component so that I can be able to reuse it easily. So I can select the two, the text and the shape, and then on this side here I can click on this to make it a component. You can also Ctrl+ Alright, so I'll just head on to my library again, and I have the component added here. So I'm just going to come and drag it here like that, and here instead of username I want the user to give me or provide a password. Alright, so when we're creating this sign-in form, we're also creating it while having the sign up form in mind. So if a user hasn't signed up, we want the user to be able to do that. So we're going to have the confirm password in this sign-in form, though it will not appear here, but it will be appearing in the sign up form. So let me show you what I mean here. So down here I'm also going to have another component like that, so I'm just going to come and have this on there, and I'll just come and have it there. And you know what, let me just rename these components so that we are able to understand them even better. So I'll go to layers, and then I'll just come and double click this, and I can call it confirm confirm password, and this one will be the password itself. So I'll just come and click on that and say password, and then I'll come to the last one here, which will be user. So the confirm password, I want to like bar it below these components because I don't want to be showing the confirm password in this login form. So let me just come and first of all have confirm password here. And as you can see, it is below the password and the username. So I can just come and hide it here. So this is in the sign-in form, and I can also reduce its opacity. We are going to see why we have done that later. So now after that, I want now to have the submit button or the sign up button, the sign in button rather. So I'm just going to again come and pick the rectangle here. I'm going to draw it somewhere here, and you know what, I'm going to space it out a little bit space this stuff a little bit here. So this is because we'll be having that sign up button appearing, so we want to make sure that things will look so cool, so like everything will be aligned properly. So this is how our sign up form will look like. So the confirm password will be appearing here. So I just wanted to make sure that we have that spacing. I hope this is making sense. So we are going to hide that one there. So now when we move to our sign up form, we'll be expecting to see the confirm password appearing here. So I'm going to remove the outline of the border there, and I'm going to come and make the corners rounded completely like that. And then here I'm going to have some text inside here. So this is the button that a person will be clicking once they fill in the information. So sign in. So we can have this one here. I want to make it bold, and for the opacity again I'll drop it a little bit. Yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, so far so good. We have our form working so well. So there we have the login form, and now we want to get a little bit fancy here. We don't want the form to just appear. We want it to have some cool animation. So to be able to achieve that, I'm going to come and first of all make this a component first, and then what I want to do is to select all of these and make all of these a component again. So I'm going to head on to my layers. This is the easiest way of selecting the different components that you have here. So I'm going to come and select all of these from the container here. So all of that, and I'm going to make it a component. So when I head on to the library, I should be able to see it appear like this, and now I can be able to just come and click it and move it around like this. So actually now what I want to do is I want to come and drop it down here. Let me just come and hide that, and now I want to first of all come and move these ones downwards a little bit. So I'm going to select all of these and I'll move them down, maybe somewhere there. Same case to this, maybe somewhere there, this one there. And for the sign up, I'm going to have it somewhere here, and I want this to move up a little bit, maybe somewhere there. Good. So now this will be the default state. So when a person gets to this page, this is what they are going to see. And if they want to sign in, you just be clicking on this sign in button. So now that we have this as a component, you're going to see here we have what we call default state. So this will be the default state of this page. We want to create another state because we want the login form to appear in this same page, and we also want the sign up form to appear on this same page without creating another attribute. So while we are here, we're just going to come and click on this plus to add a new state, and the new state will be sign in. So that will be our other state. So now, upon doing that, we now want to come and select all of these components again, and then we move them back here. So I'm going to go to the layers again, and with this component selected, so I'll just come and hold shift and select all of these. I'm going to move this up. So make sure you have all of them selected. So to know that everything is working well, select all the component and then click on the default state. So that one should take you to the default state and the sign in. So this is how the form will be working. So this will be the default state when a person gets to this page, and when they click the sign in button, they will be taken there. So now we want to come and return things back to order here. So I'm going to just come and have this, double click on it to modify it. Alright, so now we want also to create another state. We want to create another state, and that is now so this should be down here. Now we want to create yet another state, and that will be our sign up form. So I'm just going to come and click this component here, and then I'm going to create a new state, and this state will be sign up, like that. Now I want to make the sign up form. Now to make the sign up form on this same page, I will just come and click this component and make sure that the sign up state is selected. Now I can start making my sign up form. So the first thing that I will do is to make this bold rather than medium, so I'll make it bold, and I'll also increase the transparency so that they are similar with this one, so that is 69. Alright, something like that. And then you're also going to have now this line moving to the sign up form. And after that, now we're going to again drop this to medium and also reduce the transparency to around 50. Like that. And now we're also going now to reveal our confirm password, so I'm just going to select it there, and then remember we had this hidden behind the password, and I'm just going to come and have it somewhere down here. Like that. Okay, maybe we need to move this up a little bit. And this one down. Alright, so there we have our sign up form. So now if we click on this specific component here, we'll be having three states. So the first state will be the default state, the sign in state, and the sign up state. So all now we are left to do is to wire that up in the prototype tab here, but we are going to do that later. Alright, so now the last artboard that we're going to create here is the food artboard. So this is where various food categories and foods will be appearing. So I will just come and pick the artboard here. Remember we are using the iPhone XR Max, and I can rename it to food. And for the fill color, I want to apply this color over here. So just come and pick this color picker and select that. Alright, so far so good. I think things are working very well, and I'll take this opportunity to thank you if you're watching this video up to this end. So thank you very much. Alright, so after that, now the next thing that I want to do here, I want to make sure that I have stuff arranged properly. Although I didn't use it here, but I see it appropriate to come and use guides here so that things are arranged properly. So to create guides, you can just come and have your pointer around this area. When you see this pointer, drag inward. So we can make this 20. We just make it 20 on the left side, and on the right side I'm also going to make it 20. And the top again should be 20. Finding it hard to precisely make it 20. Alright, let me just make it 21 there. Let me try to make it 20. Alright, jumping to 21, it's good. Alright, so we have that there. And now the first thing that I want to have on top here is a hamburger. So you'll find that most of the app will have some menus, but the menus will be auto hidden, and a person has to click on a certain button to display the menu. So we're just going to have that hamburger here, whatever you call it here. So I'm just going to draw that line. So just check this out. I want to increase the stroke width maybe something like that. I'm also going to make it rounded like that. Let me reduce the opacity a little bit, maybe to something like that. And I want two of this, so I will duplicate this, hold shift, good. And for the second one, I want to make it shorter. So instead of just clicking on this and dragging inwards, you can also come here on the width and you move this down. So this will make it small. Like that. Let me zoom it to 100 and see how it looks like. Right, I think that's good. Though we can try to reduce its width here a little bit, make it 5 maybe. Yeah, 5 looks good. Now on the same line, we are going to have a profile picture here of the specific user who have logged in. So I'm going to grab the eclipse here, and to draw a very perfect eclipse, you can hold the shift on your keyboard. That is if you're using Windows. If you're using a Mac, you can hold the command. So I'll have it aligned with this. So let me just try to move it there. And you know what? Let me just group these together. Ctrl plus G. So that now I can be able to select both of them and align them properly. I don't want it to have an outline. So I will remove the outline here. And here I'm going to have the profile picture. Let me just make it a little bit bigger now. Yeah, maybe something like that. And I want to have a profile picture here. So I'll just select the eclipse and I'll head on to the file explorer, and I'll just come and pick up this picture here. So this is a picture that I downloaded from the internet. Credits to the owner. So I'll just come and have it on this shape. So I'll have it masked to the shape. If you want to mask it to the shape, always make sure that the shape has that blue color within it. So I'm just going to come and drop it there, and we are going to have it like that. You can always double click it to edit it. So I'm just going to have that somewhere, maybe there, align them properly. Good. So now that's what we have on top there. So things are looking so cool. So now down here we want to have a search button. So users may want to search for some foods. So let me just provide a search button here, and remove the outline as usual, and make the corners rounded a little bit. It will be something like that. And I can apply a certain small drop shadow there. I'll just come and check the shadow, and I'll click on this to reduce the opacity. We make it 3. Right, that to me looks awkward. Let me make it 1. Yeah, so we don't want to have a very big shadow there. We just want a small shadow there, just to make that stuff look a bit fancy. Alright, so inside here we can have some text. So I'm just going to come and put some text here. So just come and say search for foods here. should be regular good. Drop it, the size, and also the opacity to around 50, and we can have it somewhere here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Here we see what's happening, so we still need to drop it. Have it around there. And that looks good according to me. Now down here we want to have right, you know what, we also need to have some text on top. So just above this search we can put some text here. So I can just come and pick the text tool, and here I can just come and have choose the food you love. So I will have it aligned to the left, good, and I'll have it somewhere there, and I'll make this bold just because I'm fancy. And I'll reduce the opacity a little bit, maybe around there, and also drop the size. Yeah, maybe something like that. So now we can have this somewhere at the bottom here. Good, so that's good. Now below the search box here, we want to give users some food categories that we have, so they can choose from them. So I'm just going again to have the rectangle tool. So these are tools that I'll be using more often, as I mentioned, and I'm going to drop the border as usual, and I'm going to make the corners rounded a little bit, maybe something like that. And I want to have several of these, and instead of drawing them once more, I can use the repeat grid here. So I can just click on this, and I can just come and drag this, so that one will duplicate the shape. I cannot have them downwards, but I don't want that right now. And I'll ungroup, because when you create them like that, they are grouped by default. So I'm going to select all of them again, and I'm going to apply a shadow, my usual small shadow of 1, and here we are going to have some images representing those specific food categories, and I also think we should have a category text here, so we can just come and have category. Drop that a little bit, make it bold, and the opacity as usual. Good. So we can move this down a little bit, maybe around there. Good. Let's move all of these down a little bit. So we can preview this and see how it looks on a real mobile phone. Yeah, and I think it looks good. So clean, not complex, so simple. So now down here, so inside here we are going to have the images that will be representing the various food categories. So but before that, we can just have some text. So maybe we can come and say, here we have a burger. So we're going to have that one inside here. We can reduce that category a little bit. So now we can have some cool images inside here. So I'm just going to come in and drag them here. So the first one is this and this. Sorry. So I'm just going to come and drop them here. And the first will be this hamburger here. Maybe I can increase the size a bit, maybe something like that, and I can change this color to my orange or yellow color. Then we are going to have the pizza over here. So we can align this. That's what we have there. So the final thing that you're going to have here is now the food. So when a person selects on a certain category, we should show the user the food here. So I'm just going to have that here with a rectangle which will have some rounded corners. And I'm going to give this our orange color here. And I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to make it white instead of orange. White. So this will be the art, and this will be the next object. So now here we can have the food category, or the foods. We can have the foods here. So the first thing that I'm going to have is this hamburger here, and this one. So I'm just going to come and drop them here. So let's just come and have this here. Make it grow a little bit. Yeah, maybe around there, and we can have the name that specific food. So this being a burger. And I'm going to have it around there. Now below the name, we may want to give the user an option to rate that specific food. So we can just come and have some 5 stars here that users can use to rate the food. So if you go to these shapes here, you won't be able to see a star, and you would ask yourself how it is possible then to come up with a star. It's actually very easy. So just come and pick this polygon here, just draw it, and now scroll down to this area here where you're going to see the counter corner count rather, and make this 5. Just making the corners to be 5, and that's now will create something like this. Now on this area here, you're going to notice that we have this handle, and below the pointer we have a star. So we can be able to just move the handle inwards, and that will make a star, and a very cool star. So now I can just come and remove the borders, and I can reduce the size. Let me zoom in a little bit here so that we can be able to position it properly here. So I'll just come and have it there. So I want to make these $24 and should be bigger. Yes, something like that. Let me zoom out a little bit, and now I want to come and select all of these first. Select all of these and make them a component, because I will be using that in this shape here. Yeah, as simple as that. So we can now come and highlight or select all of these, and then we group them, and now we can select both of them, and we can just come and click on this to make horizontal scroll. So we'll be seeing how that will happen when we get to the prototype. So I think we can also do the same to this. And then I'll select all of them and make horizontal scroll. So when I now head on to prototype here, and then I preview this specific page, I can be able to come and drag this, like you can see here. So now we're done with that. So the final thing that we can put here maybe is add to cart button. So let me head on to design. I notice time is running very fast, so let me just come and have it there like that, and we still have some prototype to do. So we're going to have that there, and we have it with this fill color with no outline, and I'm going to have this icon there. And I'm going to have this with a small shadow. Yeah, I think that looks good. So if we preview that, we're going to have something like that. We can move this around, we can move that around, have the add to cart. When you select a specific fold, you can search here. Good. Now let's get back to our login stroke register page here, so that we can add some prototype. So we're going to select this component and make sure that we are on the default state. So this will take us here. Now we can head on to prototype, and we can just come and double click on the sign in. So we are going to see this blue circle with a white arrow. So we want when a user clicks on this button to display this form here. So we are going to wire this into this specific form. So to do that, I'm just going to come and click on that. So that will make sure that when I click on this, I will not go to another page, but I'll be on this same artboard, but it will be able to pull this one up. So after clicking on that, I'll head on to this pane here where I'll see some interaction. So the trigger, I'll pick tap. For the type, I'll make it auto animate, and for the destination, I'll make it sign in. So when a person clicks on this form or this page will be moving from the default stage, or this form will be moving from the default state to sign in state. Alright, so we have that done. We can have it with instead of ease out, I can change it to ease in and out, and we can change this to 0.6. Good. So now I can head on back, and I now want to go to the sign in state, and here I want when a person clicks on the sign in to be taken to this folds page. So I'll head on again to prototype. I'll click on this sign in. So when a person clicks any area within here, he or she should be taken to this page here. So I'm going to wire this to that, and this one, instead of auto animate, I'll make it transition, and I'll make it destination food, collect, dissolve is good, ease in and out good. Yes, everything looks good there. Now I want again now to head on to the sign up page or the sign up state, so that now when a person is in the sign up and he or she wants to sign in, he can find a way to get to the sign in page. So I'll click on the sign up, and I'll head on to prototype here, double click on this, and I'll just tap on this, which should take me to the same page, and the destination should be sign in, just like that. So now if I tap on this and then I have a desktop preview, we're going to have something like this. Alright, so one more thing that is not working there. So let's get back to the sign in state, and we want, when a person clicks on the sign up, he or she is taken to the sign up form. So have the sign in selected, I head on to prototype, I double click on the sign up, wire it to the same page. The destination is sign up, ease in and out good. Alright, so let us preview that and see. Alright, so we still have the sign up, so the sign up button is still not working. So I can click on this, head on to the sign up. So the sign up, so this should be sign up actually, sorry, I forgot to make this sign up. Good, so we can head on to prototype, and then this again should take us to this. This should be transition, a dissolve good. So we can have a last preview there. So we click on that, sign in, we click on that, sign up, sign in, sign up, put some information, sign up, you're taken to that page. Alright, so finally we also have to wire this to that. I think it is already wired to that, so just click on this. So when a user clicks on this page, he or she should be taken to the sign in. So that is already wired there. So if I come now and preview it from the start, that's what we are going to see. So that is a simple application that we've created in Adobe XD. It can get more complex, we can continue adding more and more pages, but that is just at the start. So let me know in the comments below if you may want me to advance or continue creating this application in the comments below, and I'll be more than glad to continue creating it. So that is the basic introduction to Adobe XD. Hope that the tutorial was helpful. Kindly share it with your friends, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not subscribed to get more cool videos in future. See you in the next one, and as usual, stay safe.